What's up guys, Roadrunner here, and this is my homemade go-kart. The exhaust looks kinda rusty. I think I'll touch that up. Oh, that's much better. Alright, so let's get back to the video. Alright, so let's get into a bit of backstory first. I was in the back of Beyond in Halwara, Punjab, because my dad was posted there at the time and I didn't have much to do basically. So, I was on YouTube randomly one day and I saw this kid who built his own go-kart at home. So, that little thing got stuck in my head that I had to build one myself. And I was looking at different designs, and the most challenging part was the powertrain and the gearbox and an axle with a disc brake on it and stuff like that, till I stumbled upon this guy who built a frame and just literally strapped on a Variomatic scooter engine at the back. And I was like, wow, that's that's a really simple setup and easy to build. So I went with that design. In the Air Force base there, I had access to an awesome junkyard of stuff, just thrown, which I salvaged. So the frame which you're looking at is a MiG-27 ladder which a pilot uses to get into the aircraft. So that's quite interesting. And as you can see, that worked really well for me. It's got a double layer, so to speak. And so I got hold of the ladder. I had to cut it short, of course. And then I went ahead and purchased I don't know, what was it, about 4 or 5 meters of angle iron. This is what people use generally to build frames for their roofing, for tiles and stuff like that. So I picked that up and basically cut it here, bent it, welded it for some strength. I think there's some reinforcement in there for it. And so I got the basic frame ready. Then I went ahead to the scrapyard in the city and picked up a 2-stroke kinetic engine. This is from I don't know if you guys know, but the old old kinetic, which had a blue plastic on the inside and white rims. I don't know if you guys know that. White kine, blue plastic and white rims as well. So I literally got onto the scooter, checked out the engine. It was super punchy engine. So in about 15 minutes he got the engine out. So I had, with this whole section, so it's just 2 bolts here and 1 here for the monoshock. This in fact is an Activa monoshock because it's a bit softer. Then I picked up this tank. It's a Chetak tank. And then proceeding to the front, I've used the same angle iron and joined 2 of them together, which created a box section for the front, which fit exactly between the between the ladder. So that was I was lucky there. So for the front spindle system, what I've done is so this was the most difficult part, I think, because this of course is a pipe section which was welded to the box section. There was one groove here which was done in the lathe and another groove here, and I went around looking for bearings and I found the perfect size. So there's one bearing sitting on top and the other bearing sitting at the bottom. And super lucky to find these spindles, these L-shaped spindles which sat in the bearings. This of course is the drinking cup. I lost the other one. Anyway, so these spindles I found from the same scrapyard where I got the ladder. The spindles are from a bomb trolley. They're trolleys used to carry bombs from the hangar to the aircraft. So that was another lucky find. And then with a little bit of lathe work onto the L spindle, this part of the spindle was made to a smaller diameter to fit the familiar Chetak hubs, Bajaj Chetak hubs, with drum brakes inside them. So they're both front wheels from 2 separate scooters. So yeah, that's the hub there with the spindle sticking out from the side. And then for the steering system, this is the steering rod from a Mahindra Jeep, which has been cut short quite a bit. And then this piece was put at the end of it. This is from a Gypsy, again from the same scrapyard. And this is from the same Jeep, but has also been cut short quite a bit. So it was cut right here in the center and then welded back together with these greasable nipples here and here. So that works perfectly, and it's adjustable, so this can be opened for alignment. Then of course this is the most jugadu thing in the whole go-kart, if you had to ask. This is literally from I think it's from a bus stop or something, and it had to be cut, and I use a metal cutter, rotating metal cutter to cut it. I don't advise that because you've got melting plastic flying all over the place. And then of course this is a bullet exhaust which I put on the back, which was a huge mistake because it's a two-stroke, and of course me being me, young me, I just wanted the sound. And what else? That's a bullet speedo that used to work. These are holders for the mirrors that I had, and it had a working ignition with a working self starter and headlights. I had much bigger headlights at the time. These are of course smaller ones that stopped working also. I had, believe it or not, I had underglow, neon underglow. I had a taillight strip here. What else? I had a cone filter. This is the system that I did for the front brakes. As I told you, there are drum brakes in both the front brakes. So what I did was, this is a handbrake from an Ambassador car, so which has a connecting rod going to the other side, which has little slots here for the brake cable, one this side and one that side. And this was connected to the brake wires, which further went into these drums. Now I scrapped this idea because if one of the brakes was tighter than the other in the drum brakes, the go-kart would very dangerously pull to one side, if one side was tighter than the other. So I scrapped that idea. And yeah, as for accelerator and brake, so this is the engine block, and this is the transmission, of course, which with the opening and closing clutch. And of course we've got the carburetor there, and the accelerator wire used to go all the way without having to cut it. It went all the way down there, where I have put two Bajaj Chetak foot brakes. So this is the accelerator, which is connected to the accelerator pedal, and this one was the brake pedal, which was connected all the way back to the brakes right here. So I didn't have to do any modifications there. And really, trust me, this setup is so easy because I've got my brakes, I've got my running gear, my transmission, everything. And if I just want to, and my suspension, rear suspension, and if I want to swap my engine, it's literally 3 nuts and bolts, one here and one on the other side, and I can just literally go to the Gujri, buy another engine for $1,000 or so. By the way, if you guys are looking at building something like this and want to know the price of what I got it at, of course I built this 8 years ago, but I got both my front Vespa hubs with tires and tubes for $600. The engine was for $1,000. In fact, I literally very recently went to Shivaji Nagar and asked about an engine, and you can still get an engine for that much, a running kinetic 2-stroke engine for that much. Of course, pretty sure you can't get your hands on a ladder like this, so you'll have to buy some metal and make it yourself. So that might run up the cost a bit. But again, things like the steering rod and the angle irons and stuff like that are pretty easy to get. So this isn't a very difficult thing to build. I think I spent not more than $4,000 or $5,000 on this whole thing together, and it took me about 2.5 months to build, and it's given me 8 years of fun without any major problems. I seized the engine once, but I rebuilt it, and then it's seized again now. So like I said, it's not a very difficult fix. I can just pop that out and put one in. Put in some pictures now of the building stage and the painting stage, and some pictures of me driving it as when I was younger. a lot younger. And yeah, if you have any more questions, please put it in the comment section and correct me if I'm wrong, if I made any mistakes about the parts. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Please hit that like button if you like the video and subscribe for more cool stuff.